Hello everyone, during this video we're gonna get into box plot. First and foremost, what is a box plot? Well, box plot it's pretty much a graphical representation showing the five number summary of the data. What does that mean? Well, first of all, they're gonna give you a data set, so a list of numbers like the one I have right here: 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now, the first thing you have to do is list those numbers from least to greatest. Now, what I did on this quick example, I already have it from least to greatest order, just for the sake of time. Second of all, I included the list of the five numbers that we must find in order to create the box plot. And we're going to start doing it in order. The first one will be minimum, and then we'll do first quartile, median, third quartile, and then a maximum. And the last thing that you see in there, it's a number line. Well, what do we need the number line for? Well, that's where we're going to base our numbers to create the box plot. So with that in mind, we are going to start with the five things that we must find. And as we go through each of those five, I'll explain what they mean. So the first one that you see on the list of need to find, it says the minimum. So minimum, in other words, means the smallest number of the data set. So again, first and foremost, list the numbers from least to greatest and then locate the minimum. So the minimum is the smallest number. So as you can see, 4 is the smallest number. So we have just found the first key information of the box plot. So we go to the number line and we know that 4 is the minimum. So we are going to create a dot right on top of the 4. And we're going to label that as our minimum. I'm just going to write MIN for minimum. It's 4. The second one, it's the first quartile. First quartile or Q1. First quartile or Q1, what it means is finding the median of the first half of the information. What does that mean? Well, since we have five numbers, we are going to first leave the median alone. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to do scratch the 4, the 12, the 6, and the 10. And then the 8 pretty much represents the median of the data set of that list of numbers. Now we want the first quartile or the first half. So that means we do not touch the 8. We want the first half of the information. Now the first half of the information includes just the 4 and the 6. Now to find the first quartile, well, we need to know the median. What's the middle number or what's in between the 4 and the 6? That will be our Q1 or first quartile. So what's between 4 and 6? And well, it's not that hard, that it'll be 5. So 5, it's going to be considered your Q1 or the first quartile. So 5 is going to be between 4 and 6. And I'm just going to label that our Q1. Just like that, we have our first quartile. The third one means the median. Well, the median, it's the middle number of the information. Again, you must have the list from least to greatest, which we already did. And we already did find the median of that list of numbers. Very simple, since it's only 5 numbers on the data set and it's 8. So 8, we go to 8. We place a dot top of the 8. And we are going to label that our median. Median is the middle of the information, the median of the data set. The fourth thing is the third quartile. Well, that's the opposite of Q1. So what we do is we grab the upper half of the list. So the upper half, again, we don't touch the median. We leave it alone. So the upper half includes the 10 and the 12. Now, what's in the middle of 10 and 12? Well, it's not that hard to find it, and it's 11. If you can figure out it's 11, well, just combine 10 plus 12, and then you divided it by 2. Okay, so 11, it's considered our Q3 or third quartile. So we go to 11, which is between 10 and 12. And we're going to label that our Q3. And last but not least is our maximum. Maximum is the biggest number of the data set, the greatest number. As you can see, it's 12. So 12, we go to 12 and place a dot right there. I'm just gonna label it our maximum. Now with that, we can go ahead and create our box plot. So we start with the minimum and the Q1. We connect the dots, and here's where we start creating the box. And then we create Q3 and the max. So that creates the 5 numbers. Now on this one, it wouldn't hurt to add the interquartile range that we talked about last week, or IQR. Now remember that all you do on IQR is just subtract Q3 and Q1. So in this one, it will be very basic. Our Q3, it's 11, and our Q1, it's 5. So if you just subtract 11 minus 5, your IQR will be 6. But that's how a box plot looks like. Thank you.